On November 7, 1989, Malaysia Airlines flight MH192 took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport en route to Kathmandu with 167 passengers and 11 crew members on board. The captain of the plane, Rajiv Chandra, was an experienced pilot, 47 years old, with 15,000 flying hours, including over 2,000 hours in the Himalayan region. His co-pilot, Lee Wei, was a talented 36-year-old pilot who had served in the Malaysian Air Force for 8 years before joining civil aviation. On that day, one of the strongest storms in the past decade was sweeping through the Himalayan region. Meteorologists reported winds reaching speeds of 120 kilometers per hour. Despite the severe weather, flight operations were approved as forecasts predicted improved conditions once the plane reached the Himalayan region. The last communication with the plane occurred at 1843 local time, where the captain reported entering an area of turbulence and requested a change in altitude. The communication was abruptly cut off and the plane disappeared from radar screens as if it had vanished among the mountain peaks. The search operation began immediately, but the harsh weather made it difficult to carry out the search. 8 helicopters and 12 ground search teams were used in an attempt to locate the missing plane, but to no avail. After 3 weeks of intense search efforts in one of the most difficult mountainous regions in the Himalayas, where mountain peaks exceed 7,000 meters, Nepalese officials announced the suspension of the search in December 1989, confirming the death of all passengers and crew members. Over the years, the families of the missing passengers endured a long struggle with dwindling hope and constant doubts about the fate of their loved ones. 34 years passed without the mystery of Flight MH192 being solved until June 2023, when an international exploratory team led by Alex Mackenzie launched a new search campaign aimed at heading to the eastern slope of Kangchenjunga, the 3rd highest peak in the world. The team consisted of 5 members: Alex Mackenzie, the 46-year-old Scottish mountaineer with 20 years of experience in the Himalayas; Anna Sokolova, the 38-year-old Kazakh climber who had scaled all peaks above 8,000 meters; James Hope, the Australian doctor and mountaineer; Minho Park, the South Korean photographer specializing in aerial photography; and Charing Sherpa, a 3rd-generation Nepali guide. The team's original goal was to test a new route on the eastern slope of Kangchenjunga, a steep and nearly impossible path due to the towering ice walls and frequent avalanches. Before their attempt, 6 previous attempts had failed to reach this route, and 4 climbers had died during their attempts. Locals referred to the mountain as Korlo Lamo, meaning Wheel of the God of Death in the Tibetan language. According to an ancient legend, the mountain is said to contain a door leading to another world where the souls of the deceased go. At an altitude of 5,800 meters, the team encountered strange phenomena. The electronic compasses started giving unusual readings, as though something on the mountain was altering the magnetic field. Despite the sky being perfectly clear, their GPS devices frequently lost signal, which the team attributed to the presence of minerals that might be responsible for the interference. On the 3rd day of the journey, while the team was at their camp at 6,200 meters, Anna noticed unusual behavior among a group of Indian vultures. This behavior was extremely rare for that area. They observed that 2 of the vultures were larger than the others, with wingspans of about 3 meters. The birds circled in loops above a nearby slope, repeatedly returning to the same point, almost as if trying to attract the attention of the climbers. Upon observing this behavior, Charing Sherpa, the Nepali guide, became extremely frightened and refused to continue along their usual path. He began speaking of a local legend that the mountain was home to a mountain spirit named Ram Trauma, a great guardian spirit of the path between the world of the living and the dead. When this spirit begins to circle a place, it means there are souls trapped between worlds. Despite Alex Mackenzie's skepticism, the team decided to change their route to investigate the reason behind the vultures' behavior. As they attempted to change direction, they approached the area where the vultures had been circling. The birds' behavior became even more mysterious as they flew very low before suddenly diving toward the ground. What was even more astonishing was that one of the vultures fell directly onto the snow in a nearby location. When the climbers approached, they found a deep hole in the snow left by the bird. The team continued to dig through the snow and discovered a piece of the plane, painted in white with red and blue stripes, the colors of the missing Flight MH192. The team found themselves at the wreckage of the plane at an altitude of 6,000 meters, in a location believed to be impossible to reach due to the difficult terrain. At that moment, it became clear why the plane had not been found before. It had crashed in an extremely remote area. After 34 years of mystery, the wreckage of flight MH192 was discovered at 6,000 meters in the Himalayas. The location was so remote and buried in ice that it explained why the plane had never been found before. The expedition team documented the site and uncovered belongings, human remains, and notes written by the co-pilot before the crash. Authorities were notified, and an official recovery mission retrieved the wreckage and remains for DNA testing and returned to families. Investigations confirmed that the plane encountered magnetic disturbances and an ice storm that disabled navigation systems and led to the crash. A memorial ceremony was held and a documentary was produced titled Silence of the Mountain. Today, the crash site is marked by a plaque that reads, "In the arms of the mountain, they return to the sky."